Welcome everyone back to EXP. This is a new episode for you guys. It is the second half of our second session for us. So I'll go ahead and go through it again real quick and then we can get back into it. I'm Anna, I'm your GM. And I think you all are in a different order now because we turned off our cameras for a good 20 minutes. I'm here with Katie Marshalko, Landon Turner.
Hello.
Taylor Carswell, Alex Cromwell, and Xander Romiak. And yeah, we're back for another episode of this. Like I said, this is the second half of our second session, so this should be your fourth episode, I believe, of this group. And I guess we'll go ahead and get right into it then. Welcome back. Before our break and the last episode for our viewers, our party fought some unsavory creatures, mistakenly sort of seemed to be magically enchanted in the area. You have yet to find out necessarily how these came to be. But then you basically fought these creatures. You had attempted to talk to an individual who had fallen to the ground in this dark kind of cloak, scrambling for papers, who got up, seemed a bit agitated, annoyed, gathered his papers and tried to walk off before Evandris stood down, like flew over and stood right in front of this individual in a quick intimidation kind of head-to-head. You guys tried to intimidate each other to back down or to give information or, slow down, of which Evandris won. I rolled a natural 1. So, really spooked this guy. You guys got some interesting kind of feelings and information as Elret tried to reach for the other papers, and something caused your body to seize up, allow this person to collect the papers, and Evandris heard from a similar voice between crackling sort of almost like radio static that you've been hearing from your patron, that you really don't want to mess with this, as he kind of turned around the corner and started walking down the pathway, kind of limping, as you guys saw the one leg of which Aurelia decided to kick when he was getting up is now still being limped on. As you guys check out these like rock and metal monsters that are still scattered on the ground here, and we come back to this festival scene. So, coming back into this sort of area with a lot of different things going on, you have that individual off to the side near Døden, who's got that, long sort of coat and big glasses, who's scraping up these rocks, and this individual who's like starting his way down the path with the scattering remains of these two rock creatures. What would you guys like to do?
If he's left and Døden is just down there with the other rock creature, and who we above table can see as Neonin.
Yes, you see.
I'd like to investigate both of them.
Okay. Do you just walk up and say something, or do you want to do like an investigation?
I don't think he would say anything at first. I think he'd probably, like, I would go down, squat next to the rock construct, and just silently look at it and investigate for a while. I would assume not get anything different than what they did, so I won't make you like rehash it unless there is something different. And then just stand and look at Neonin just as closely as the rock construct, silently, just like all up in his face.
He's like scooping up these rocks, and he kind of senses someone peering over, and he like slowly, and like with your height, like slowly he starts looking up and expects to see a face right about at like your torso area, and just kind of keeps going all the way up. And he goes, can I help you? He kind of stands up and backs away for a sec.
Do you have anything to do with these?
Yes, probably. I am a wizard who is still learning. But
What kind of wizard are you?
That is a good question. Are you asking like subclass wise?
I mean, like, what type of magic does he fuck with? Necromancer, enchantment. Not necessarily like School of Magic, but a little broader.
He's like, well, I haven't really full sent on any sort of schools or anything like that. I am just dabbling in the lower levels of fun spells for now. My goal is to run this booth and potential shop of various wizarding things that I can enchant or protect or things like that, so I can sell them and make some money.
What do you sell here exactly?
Right now, just little trinkets, little fun magic things. I actually, and he looks around for, he's looking around for someone or something, and he's like, well, I was trying out a new spell in a way where it was a mix of final words and mending touch on some rocks to reassemble them, because it's supposed to be a party trick. And so I had some vendors, I had some customers here and was trying to do that, but it seemed to kind of, the magic seemed to waver, and they grew way bigger than they should have, and they came to life, which I didn't expect.
I would assume that you are not familiar with my role, but if you would like to cast another spell, you can provide me with something to replace or repair these damages, to make up for them.
What do you mean, like to show off to them?
No, I mean if you would like to ever cast another spell and not end up on my list, you can give me something to account for these damages. And he like gestures and shows the rips and the scratches on the metal and all of that from his apparent rock spell.
Yeah, that's true. Your robes did kind of get very tattered. My robes, as you look at this, like, I don't know why my mind keeps going to halfling, but I was thinking of this halfling individual with these big glasses. He's like, I don't think my robes would fit you right now. I can maybe give you some gold. There's a robe shop. There's a robe like booth down that way on the other side of the festival that you can hit up if you want some with the gold that I could give you. And he turns and kind of goes underneath the booth again and walks out with a couple handfuls of gold, or maybe not gold, I guess it's like handfuls of coins. And he's like, I really don't know for your size if this will cover it, but here's 2 handfuls for you guys, if you would take it.
Thank you. And your name?
My name is Neilnin. I'm Neilnin.
I didn't know if you had.
The fun point of DMing where I search D&D name generator. Neilnin. It is
bottom, it sounds like.
Neilnin Quarium.
Oh, the Quarium family. Yes.
Yeah, and, you know my cousin Ace, he goes by Aquarium.
Nice. I am familiar with
he really loves fish, so that big one is very cool.
Serendipitous.
Well, before my compatriots get here, I would like to thank you, and I can tell them as much or as little of your involvement in the rock attack as you would like.
I mean,
one of them may put a hole in your face.
Oh, I was gonna say you could really tell them as much as you want, because it seems like, there's been a couple different people who have done a couple different magic things in this area that haven't turned out well. Nothing like this, but a couple of us have had some issues.
And
Would
who
you
was
say
this
that the
people?
vibes are off?
You walk up and just say, the vibes are off.
Are the vibes of the land and the sky and the trees around us, are they off?
Yes, would you say that?
He's like, he like looks at the sky and like the ground covered in scattered rocks. He's like, well, I mean, I feel like the
feel
ground vibes
it
are
in
kind of a
your
little bit off right now. These rocks are definitely, they were magical and are dead now. So that vibe is a little bit weird.
He's onto something.
The vibes are off.
The vibes are somewhat off, but even before that, I would say the feel of like Arcana felt off
The vibes
more
are
than the
very
sky
off.
and the land and the trees. I'm not one of those. I don't speak with the trees. I more so try spells.
Are there any spells that can manipulate the flow of time?
Big question.
Oh, I'm Morgan, by the way.
Hi, Neilnin. Gives you a little halfling handshake.
Yes, of course. I know the Aquarium family very well.
Oh, have you visited our aquarium building?
I've only seen pamphlets. I dream to go one day.
There's a lot of fish there. We're started getting some turtles too.
Oh,
They take them there. They kind of save it. If you're interested, tell them Neilden sent you.
oh, I'm very interested, but perhaps more about the interest of my time question from a few seconds ago. More than that.
He goes, oh, yes. 1 second, and he turns and he goes back into his little hut area. And
Is he
let me-
offended by the giant fish that we're carrying?
Oh, yes,
He
hi,
doesn't-
Dad.
He doesn't seem like he's offended. On
You're still
first
carrying
glance.
it.
Oh, someone.
He doesn't-
I don't mean to upset the Aquarians.
He doesn't seem offended on first glance. Let's see, is this the right? This doesn't seem right. So this one should be it. He doesn't seem offended at first glance. He did say very quickly, he was like, that looks like a really cool big fish that you have there. So he was like, that's an awesome sized fish, and it, he knew a thing about it or something, probably from talking to his cousin about it. But yeah, he wasn't like, like he knows people have to eat. So let's see. Things for time. That is a good question. Let me do a quick look. I don't think there is a low-level spell that does anything with time. There is Time Jammer from the Book of Yarrow, which is a level 10 spell. On a success, time temporarily slows to a halt for everyone within far range except for you. Automatically resume the next time you take an action roll that targets another creature.
Well, that doesn't sound like what's happening right now.
He's like, what's happening right now? Why with time? This one just kind of pauses it. Are you guys
Oh,
pausing
nothing.
time?
Yes, nothing.
Give me deception rolls.
I'm
I'll say
standing.
one of you
I'm standing
lead
on
it.
top of his hut, by the way.
He's like, huh. One of you lead the deception roll, and the other one give advantage rolling the d6 versus the duality dice.
I should not lead it.
If I can lead it because I can use my we don't talk about Fight Club experience.
Oh yeah.
I'll burn a hope to do that.
That'll
Cool.
be a presence roll, and you can use Don't Talk About Fight Club.
Then I can give you a d6 on top of that, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
dang it. The 21 was you said presence?
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
Plus
yes,
0
to
that.
deceive.
21 with fear plus the advantage roll.
plus 4.
25.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Doesn't seem to be an issue. He's like, well, I get it. Vastly curious about all these things, and I had no clue that this was going to happen. So if you figure out what exactly is causing this weird arcana thing to happen, please let me know, and I can write it down in my book.
Maybe what's causing it is that magic is dangerous and some people aren't learning all their spells before they start casting things that could ruin people's lives.
Oh, you tell him, sister.
You ever thought about that?
As I stand on the hut.
He kind of looks at his book. He's like, "Oh shit." Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go practice more.
Yeah, go read a book or something. Get
I
out
read
of
a lot
here.
of books.
You should train.
And he kinda
Practice
closes
with
his
your
book.
mind before you practice with your actions, little guy.
You caused another rude little wizard to drop his papers. Think about your actions.
True.
Oh, do you know that
Wizard.
rude little wizard who dropped his papers?
A rude little wizard who dropped his paper. What did he look like?
He was
Wearing a
Oh.
black suit.
little wizard, and he had papers, and
All black.
There's
Thank you.
something about the six forms.
Original.
The
six.
original six.
Original 6.
Okay, at the mention of the original 6, he kind of pauses for a second, and he's like, I definitely don't know that wizard. I just kind of go to local stores of other wizards who have been enchanting for longer, and we have these nights where we kind of swap cards and different spells and ritual things and whatever, and like that's usually a lot of fun. And I've won my last couple games, so not to brag, but that's besides the point. Anyway, there is no mention of the original 6 in any of those. We are just a group that hangs out and likes to read different books and share our spells. And like recipes. If you get a good recipe, good spell, you want to share it with people who are also learning.
Hold on. You see, we were just like that phrase was just kind of name dropped upon us, and we don't really know what
Yeah.
it is. And you
Do we
seem
know
quite
anything
skittery.
Do we know anything about the
I'll
original
say
6?
this will be a free one just to see who picks up on it or might know about it. So all of you, I'll say a knowledge roll to analyze or comprehend or recall any information about the original 6, because it is kind of known, but not to like this will help determine to what extent that you guys know about the original 6.
I just
I got
rolled
hope.
like a beast. 23.
Woo! Yes.
Ooh.
I got an
Right.
18 with fear.
18.
Yeah, mine's
alright.
also with fear.
Okay.
I got a
Here,
12 with
We'll
hope.
disregard hope and fear for this one
Oh, cool.
specifically, since all of us are rolling. What was it, Katie?
12.
12.
I got a
alright.
10, which is so on brand.
You're like, I just know the grandfather.
Yeah, I'm spirit. Yeah, I'm very
Bye.
spiritual, and I operate on
then-
vibes and way too much confidence.
And Alex, did you roll?
It was an 18 with hope, or 18.
Okay. So our lowest was a 10. I'll say, so starting off, I'll go like up the order with a 10. You've at least like heard of the original 6. The original 6, you would know from your perspective of the grandfather would be essentially the 6 that worked right underneath the grandfather. They were the 6 original gods that eventually then had the child gods, who are the more prominent and more followed gods of this world. I'll say you know about that much. You know there was like some crazy kind of stuff that went on with the original 6 and the child gods, but with a 10, you can't really recall what.
Oh
Moving
yes,
up.
the lesser.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they were the original 6, of which I'll say you even remember like that they were couples. So it was 3 couples that were families that had the child gods. And then who was next after that? It was like a
I think 2 of us got 18.
12.
Oh, 12.
12. Okay, so 12, you get about the same thing. The 18s, you guys get that the original 6 were a set of satyrs, a set of orcs, and a set of elves that were underneath the grandfather, who's the like all-knowing, all-being sort of god over them. And then they all had various amounts of kids. The wife of the elven family, Crinelbis, went like there were various disputes between the 3 groups as they were making the worlds. This is how like the rumors and folklore go. There was various disputes between the three groups of family parents as they were making the world, and it got so bad at one point the yelling cracked the land and caused the continents and stuff like that. And so they had messed up. They got super disappointed in it, and Crinelbis went behind Ubaku, who's the husband elf, went behind Ubaku's back and decided to kill Soshos, the child of the Feywim family, the satyrs. So that really sparked a lot of the hatred and all that stuff for everything that was going on. It got so bad to the point where that now coming into like the 22 that you got, was it 22 or
23?
23. Now coming into that realm of remembering, that's what kind of sparked all of the then uprising from the child gods. They had reached a point where they, were helping sort of start to build their powers and stuff, seeing their parents build this world, and said, you just killed one of ours, so we are putting all of you who've been fighting essentially away in the hells. So they took their parents, they fought back against them, and locked them away in the hells for, I think it's, for Haljun, I believe, is the one who is of passage, and is also the one that keeps the doors of the hells shut on their parents and make sure they don't leave. So by that individual saying, I hope that the heated hands of the big 6 fall onto you, or of the original 6 fall onto you, they're saying, I hope and following these gods has kind of become a bit taboo. If you follow the original 6, it's not good. Like, they are kind of frowned upon. That's why all of the child gods are represented here. They are the ones who then took over the world, started building it in their own image. They first started with the continent of Soshos, naming it after the friend that they lost, which is a continent that's like to the east of you guys. And then they built each continent after that. And to have their own realms and all that stuff. So they kept building on their parents' creation to the point where it's at right now. And wishing that the heated hands of the 6 will fall on you is essentially saying, I hope those 6 gods come and really fuck you guys up. Because they're in the hells, they're heated, like, they want you, they're like, we want to wish the worst on you.
I should have kicked him harder.
I should have burned him.
Sorry for that crazy lore drop, guys. There you go.
We always love a lore drop.
Yes, cool.
Showed you how much time it spent on this.
Yeah.
Multiple years at this point.
Oh my god, amazing.
So fun.
All right.
Wow, what a
So that little
lot.
wizard says most of that, pretty much. Or like fills you in as you guys are recalling the various folklore and all that stuff that you guys have talked about before.
Oh, I remember now. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This is all news to me.
Right, so
And
I
You
guess,
yeah.
tunnel vision, don't you?
yeah, you sort of stopped at the main one, right? Didn't bother to.
Well, anything else is petty.
Yeah.
Respectfully, of course.
It's like, well, I mean, you just kind of saw it all happening and let them kind of do it. It makes sense. Why would you go kill one of them? That's the craziest folklore.
Well, maybe we should investigate what's up with the magic around here.
Yeah, you said it was.
Because-
You confirmed the vibes were off, correct?
Oh, very off. Like I said, I was just trying to put some rocks back together and see if like a small rock could maybe like Like, how cool would it be? You ever have those rocks that you like draw the eyes on, and you make them your
that's
little
enough
buddy?
out of you.
Oh,
Maybe we
okay.
should check out what was happening at the cloak shop.
Good plan, Izuni.
Cool.
Remember
Okay.
our friend from the faux woman?
Mm-hmm.
And she told us that
Her name was Pepper.
Pepper, I'm so sorry. Maybe we should see what Pepper was talking about the cloak shop and the parade. Maybe that will give us a hint as to the vibes. Should we take the twerp with us?
John.
John, should we take John with us?
Absolutely.
Did he not run away?
John is
No.
down the pathway. You can see he's making his way down here. He's this skull. He's the skull who's also got the yellow.
Oh.
You guys run after him.
I fly. Like, come with me, John.
Oh no.
I'll say, as you try to rush after, I'll say, go ahead and give me an agility roll
Sure.
as he sees you and is gonna try to start running.
We're scaring off everybody we meet.
21 with fear.
Okay.
Oh my
So I
god.
gain up fear.
We're doing so
God.
much.
It's alright.
Yeah,
It's alright, guys. I'm at my
21
max.
great.
So
Oh, good.
and that's the other thing for DMs. If you are collecting fear, you can only have 6 at a time, I believe. I don't know if that's going to change when the full rules come out, but you max out at 6.
That relaxes me like you couldn't believe, Anna. Thank you.
I use 20 fear to.
Bring it
And
on.
this girl used 17.
So you rolled a what? I'm sorry.
21.
21. I'm gonna move my webcam for a sec to show you guys. I rolled. I don't know if it's gonna show you a 1.
Nice.
So, yeah,
That's tough.
that sucks again.
You're rolling excellently today.
I don't want to hear it. All right, make sure that's on.
As we're
Quick
leaving
movement.
this Mr. Aquarium, I'm gonna reach into my satchel and pull out a small rock that I put eyes on and say, "Here you go."
Oh,
I know what you were
Thank
talking
you.
about, but apparently we must go.
he goes here, and he turns around and he gives you a rock with a single larger eye on it. He goes here, and gives you one as a trade.
Great, a worthy trade. Thank you.
Have a good one. And he waves. Awesome.
I'm flying with my golden ethereal wings
Yes.
flapping. With
So you, ethereal wings flapping, going after this one John individual.
Such big wings to fly across the block.
All right. What do you do when you reach that? Because you very obviously, compared to a 1, get there.
I say, John, of the fruit.
So the fruit was this guy. This
Oh,
was
isn't it-
Nelnin.
Oh
Or no.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. The fruit
Wait.
guy was the other shorter guy. That was John.
That was
You-
John.
You didn't get the name of the guy who was in the robes who took
Oh,
off.
but I caught up to the guy.
If you're going up to the robe guy, yeah, you caught up to them, no problem.
Okay, hold on. That does change my approach.
The fruit guy was this guy over here.
I thought we were bringing John. I misread.
I see.
I thought we were
No
bringing the
problem.
battle.
This guy is the one with the cloak, and he's heading out. He's hobbling down the road. This guy is the fruit guy, who is like the next stall over.
Yeah, we
where
didn't
you
need
got
to
the
chase
fruit.
down John. John's there for us.
We didn't need to chase down John. What did you?
So you're going after cloak or fruit?
Elret, who did you want to bring with us?
Well, I was thinking that we bring the bad magician with us.
Okay.
Because he seems to have a good
Did I-
sense of the
That's
vibes.
Right,
Catch up.
no.
I don't say a word. I just grab him and hold a lift.
But yeah,
And-
John is still coming.
So you're taking the wizard and the fruit guy.
All right.
Neln the wizard and the fruit guy John.
Wait, we're
Are you
taking
taking
both?
those two?
Oh my god.
No, wait, John and the cloak man.
Okay, questionable cloak man is over here. You don't have a name for him.
Yes.
Nelnin is the wizard right here who you were just talking to, and John is the fruit guy. Which of the 3 do you want to take, if any?
So I think we were primarily wanting to go after the wizard running away, the cloak man.
The cloak one.
But I think we liked John a lot.
Okay, the fruit man.
Fruit dwarf.
Cool.
But yes.
I guess I should also. I'm able to actually give them names. So, John.
Døden's
Incredible.
trying to take Nelman.
Yeah, like following like
This
Elret's
one
ask.
is
Following
question
Elret's
mark.
ask, I go to retrieve
Cloakman.
Cloakman.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So you catch up to Cloakman with a 1. You totally get there. I love your jumping. Yeah, you catch up to this Cloakman as he's like walking, hobbling down the street. What do you do? You don't have a name or anything, just the fact that he's got his hood on and hobbling down the street.
Evandris says nothing. I'm just gonna grab his collar and lift with my wings and turn him
And
towards
just-
Elret.
He's like, "Ah!" as he takes off with you, I guess.
Come along.
All right, you have a cloaked individual now coming with you.
I like drop him in the middle of the group.
Plump. As he falls and like lands on his bad ankle, and he's like, "God,
Well, that
just
worked out
leave
really
me alone."
You're sorry to be so physical, but you do seem quite suspicious.
It's like,
And
God,
and that's a little bit on us, but mostly on you.
I just am trying to leave.
Where are you trying to go?
I have an appointment that is none of your business.
Well, I think that it is our business, and I think that we should all go with you.
Roll a.
Right.
What is this? Let's see. Charm, perform, deceive. What do they think that? Yeah, charming. So presence roll, please.
I'm being so charming. Okay, wait, I can do something to fix this.
Ooh.
Are we doing good cop bad
Oh,
cop? by dropping
I'm
him
going
down?
to take 3 hope, and I'm going to use them to double my hope die, which I can do using Sorcerer's Hope to make it a 19. Somebody help me.
A
That's cool.
19.
I'm a back her up.
D6.
19. What do you say to back up your friend here?
I'm gonna just be like, you seem to be carrying a lot of stuff with you, just like emotionally, like baggage wise, and we're like a little concerned for you just because of just how rude you intend to be to the people who saved your very well-being.
Yes, we insist you let
should
us help
feel
you.
really bad about yourself, so you
Cool.
should let us help you.
Just help you
So-
around.
Katie
Yes.
roll a d6 and add that to Taylor's roll.
We will not let you leave until
Wow.
until we help you.
3. So, what is your total, Taylor?
Wait, what do I add? I'm sorry, Katie.
A 3.
What did I say? A 19?
Yes.
Okay, 22.
He goes, I really don't think you should.
Care
Well-
to enlighten us as to why?
He goes, no, and touches himself and goes invisible.
What?
I tackle him.
And
Wait.
you guys
Tackle exactly.
Go ahead, I'll say make it an agility check.
No, we're going in.
It's so bad.
I rolled a 9 with fear.
Oh my god.
A 6
And it is
and
with
9.
fear.
Oh,
Oh,
plus
I
one.
can't take
Really,
any
we've
more
been
fear.
trying to help.
So, you guys go. You jump, expecting to fall on something, and you just right onto the cobblestone underneath. I'll say, who has like a high instinct modifier between you guys?
I have a +2.
I also.
I have a 2.
Okay, so I'll say the people with the 2. You hear a little as the feet start to get further away. You don't know where.
I hate this little guy.
Mhm.
Oh, wait, can I throw one of our, like, softer fruits in the direction of the thumping?
Sure. Okay.
Try to, like, hit
I'll
the
say-
target to make it...
Sure, it could be an attack roll.
Come on. Come on.
I'll say the DC will be a little higher because he's invisible.
I got a crit.
Oh my god, that's
Doesn't even
crazy.
matter.
I'm, like, not even kidding.
What
It's
the
5 this
fuck?
time.
That's insane.
I'm not touching anything.
Somebody's
Taking the
gotta carry it.
picture, and
That's crazy.
You think she's got a +2 strength the way she's carrying the squad right now?
All right. Yeah, that's no problem. What fruit do you pull out of your bag? Well, so you got 2 lemons specifically.
Oh, I have 2 lemons, but you can have one.
yeah, we
Oh, I have
just
a tomato.
swap right next to
We
each
bought
other.
tomatoes.
You did?
Yeah, we did get a tomato. I'm gonna grab the squishiest one in the
ol'-
bag, like one that might have gotten like bapped during the fight a little bit.
Yeah. knocked
The
around, a little
stew!
soft.
Okay, I got it.
Release. You kind of hone into where the feet sound out as it goes off.
Aurelia is
Kind of
locking in.
locking in. And I'll say, let's see. Circle with I'll give you a circle of approximately where you hit. And I'll say, oh, this is not how I thought that would work. You hit something that kind of splatters in sort of this area. And you see these people kind of like, as like the tomato juice just kind of like everywhere.
Does he have like a little stain on his?
And I'll say with a crit, you see a tomato covering like a shoulder and a part of the back as it continues at a faster pace down the street. He's like kind of throwing his hurt ankle to the wind and booking it.
Can you
just
catch
like
him?
stick him quick, people.
All right. Who's the most agile?
Going and
+1.
going.
I have a +1 as well.
All right, I'll try.
What do you think?
Flying,
Again, the
get him.
DC will be higher, but not as bad. But like he seems to be. What was it?
16 with fear.
16. Okay. With a 16, you follow him. You follow this tomato-covered shoulder towards the end of this pathway. And I'll say it reaches the end of this pathway as it enters a separate one that kind of turns and curves to the right and left. Kind of, it is another long past like a T intersection. And it seems to kind of cut into a crowd that seems to be forming in this pathway. You notice this is a considerable amount of more people traveling in this direction. And it really, along the whole pathway, seems to start to get, crowded and hard to tell where people are. So this invisible being with a single tomato-covered shoulder kind of dips in and moves into the flow of the crowd.
And I lose track of it.
Yeah, I'll say just kind of lose track of the tomato-covered shoulder, but you get that he was headed kind of back towards where the parade route was supposed to be, but you guys remember it being completely empty and back towards that other side of the festival entirely.
I'm just gonna I think Evandris is rushing to keep up, and then kind of pulls up in the air when I lose track, and then kind of scan and get the general bearing and fly back and relay that to the party.
Okay.
All right.
Peculiar.
Maybe we should go investigate the parade route.
Maybe.
Say- Real quick, so you got a what again? It was like a 12, was it?
For what?
To see if you could find him in the crowd and look around in
Well,
general.
I didn't roll to look. That was more flavor. I rolled for the agility
Okay.
to
Okay.
keep
cool.
up. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. What would you guys like to do?
Yes, the parade is an option. The cloak shop, we also didn't really get to. Elret, did you feel something of freezing of sorts?
A freezing?
Yes, when we first interacted with. I
Oh.
don't have a name for him.
I tried to grab his papers, and he did some weird stuff.
Did you hear anyone?
No.
Excuse
Can you
me.
hear voices?
Excuse me. I just go like hover, fold up, and I just start meditating
Okay.
and reaching out.
What is the? You have an experience or something for that? Or
No, I'm
harder?
just like kind of taken aback that the voice and like even creeping a little bit of doubt that the voice would say something like, "You really don't want to mess with it." It's like, no, I'm on the path. Like I am the one to mess with it.
Very true. All right. I'll say give me an instinct roll to see if you can reach out and make any sort of connection, because as of right now it's been very radio staticky. That's the first time you've really gotten like any sort of words back from your patron.
5 and a 6 with fear. So close. I want to crit. I want to crit. I'd like to crit, Katie. It'd be cool if I did.
I don't know.
It's 11 plus. What was that? Instinct?
Instinct, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 12 with fear.
A 12. Okay. You reach out, and again, that sort of like kind of like hazy, radio staticky kind of creeps into your mind again. And you reach out, even trying even harder, because you swear you just heard something. And you almost get like a little bit of you feel a little bit of a connection, and then a little bit of clarity for just like a quick second. And this being goes, like, it's almost like a split second, you know, when your radio cracks in and out and you hear like a couple words, you know, and you essentially get, let's see, like the key, but difficult, don't mess, it's dangerous.
I come out.
But of course, in the like bellowing, deep voice that you know.
I know less than I did before, I feel. Friends, we're looking for a key in danger.
A key?
How exciting.
Okay.
Oh,
So your god thinks it's good for us to go for this path?
I do not know.
Are we following the twerp or are we following the parade?
I do believe we should call him Twerp. No matter what name ever comes, he is Twerp.
I love this.
Twerp.
That said, I would love to hear your thoughts, but I hate Twerp. For some reason, deep down.
we all agree Twerp sucks big time.
Suck.
Yeah, twerp's bad.
He sucks.
We're supposed to be the good ones.
Dang. This poor dude.
What is it early? Is it late in the day? Like what where's the sun at?
I'd say you're reaching probably about midday, like noon to just after noon sort of time.
Okay, I think we should go check out this parade route and see if we can hear anything.
Yeah,
What do you guys think?
His
I'll go
guys'
see
little
it.
powwow without them hearing. Do we think that we're gonna wake up again today?
No, I've been trying not to think about that.
Yeah, I don't know. We have very little information. But remember, our Mr. Aquarium said that he kind of felt the arcana of the earth was off.
Are we the only ones, you think?
I as far as I know, when I asked him about a time thing, he gave me something completely useless. So
He was kind of useless.
Very useless.
Okay, let's go
He's
check out
just a
this parade
nerd.
thing. And maybe somebody at this 6 scary thing that we're totally supposed to do can help.
sounds good. I'm also convinced it could just be a dream or I don't know. I had a bad dream the other night, so it might be an inkling of that as well.
Well, you know what they say, 1 time is a coincidence, 2 times is a pattern. Just find out.
That is what they say. Okay, a coincidence it is then.
Wait, hang on. You said you had a bad dream?
Yeah. It was
When?
just the other night.
Which
I guess
night?
the night before we assumedly first met each other.
What a coincidence.
Well, only if it happens
Or-
once.
A pattern. Because I also had a horrible dream. It was about me dying. Really horribly. It sucked.
Well, that's
I-
crazy.
I too died in my dream.
I was perfectly fine in my dream. Nothing bad happened.
Oh,
You
okay.
had a dream?
Coincidence it is
You had a
then.
dream?
I don't remember. I forget my dreams a lot.
I don't. I remember each one.
That's really special.
I feel like Morgan would have a dream journal.
Yes. It mostly is in pictograms, but a journal nonetheless.
I bet you're a wonderful artist.
I do partake in some paintings.
Yeah, well,
yes. You assume correct. I can't deny.
Let us see.
Right now?
Well, why not? I
Okay.
guess we got things we need to do, but
Do you have
Later.
some parchments and some oil paint?
that sounds like something we can do later. You
Sounds
can paint
good.
me.
I've got some parchment.
I
Oh,
We
could
should
did.
commemorate the last battle.
He can draw something for us while I make a stew tonight.
Ooh.
I would love that.
That sounds perfect. Let's go check out this parade.
All right.
Mhm.
All right. You all head off. Is there anything else you want to do in this area before you head out or anything?
While they're doing all this shit with the one that they were trying to intimidate and bully into coming, Døden is definitely going to just kind of gesture to them, and it doesn't have to be like a whole thing, but just gesture to them and be like, this is the effort that they will put in to find you, so you will be coming with us. Because I want to see what happens if he's in our room or like in the hotel with us and we do happen to loop.
Oh, with the twerp before he leaves?
With Nilden. No.
Oh, Neilnan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry, you say,
Thus you can see what they are doing to the other attendees. And if you do not want the same fate, then you can come with us with less harm.
so I come with you, and there's less harm
Less harm or no harm.
if I come with you.
Indeed.
Do you believe this, or are you trying to deceive?
I will not let harm come to you. It is not your time.
Okay. He goes, all right, I need to close up my shop. But okay. And he goes and starts rolling down the things and brings his little pack, which seems to have like multiple books and like some like vials that are empty but still attached to a belt and all that stuff, and just like big pack on. And he's like,
Oh, yeah.
all right. What do I do?
While all of this is happening, I think it would be while he's packing up the things, so everything times out, and then we can all go at the
Yeah,
same time.
we can wrap up there.
Yeah.
I'll say, since you're still over there, go ahead. I'll say, give me an instinct roll real quick.
What do I get to know what I'm instincting, just in case I can use an experience,
just
or
like,
no?
just like he's like packing up his stuff and like cleaning up some of the rocks. So
Okay.
just like looking around the scene right now.
17 with fear.
Okay, 17. As he's cleaning up or whatever, you can see he's like picking up a crumpled box and sweeping, some of the rocks out of the way for people who are going through. And you notice him kind of lean down and pick up a sort of crumpled piece of paper that he kind of looks over and is like suspicious at for a second before like just putting it on the table of his booth and then continuing cleaning.
Can I nab it?
Yeah, if you go up,
If
you
he
pick
puts
it
it
up.
down, yeah.
And you unfurl it, and it looks to be a step in a ritual casting for something that, involves a specific set of arcana type words with an image of what looks like an egg drawn on it. But of these like arcana words, you're not like a wizard, so you don't know the exact translation of this. Yeah. So it looks like a bunch of arcana words. You don't know what possible step in a ritual thing this could be, but it's definitely some steps, how it's written out, with different like magical little symbols and what looks like to be an egg written on the side.
Is this yours?
To Nelnan or Neilnan. He goes, no, I just found that on the ground. I just thought it was some sort of garbage or something from the debris. I get it. There was a lot. I was just gonna hold it up in the shop until I get back, and then I could just toss it all.
That will be coming with us as well. Evandris, are you still on top of the thing at this point? On top of the tent? He's gonna look up and just like make a gesture down. I think after the past 2 days, enough to know that you're good at telling when people are lying. Can I see if I can get Evandris to be a little human lie detector or dragon?
All right.
Draconis
the
lie
bullshit detector comes out.
I'll squint. I think he like kind of flies like upside down and like looks at Neil and Spider-Man style.
Like a bat. Yeah.
Oh gosh, dang it. I do get an advantage for detecting lies though. Oh my god. Roll a 1. All right. 7, 8. What is that? Instinct? Yeah, 7, 8, 9. 9 with fear.
9. All right. You kind of down to look at him, and he kind of is like more shocked out of the phrase than like his demeanor and intentions kind of change as he gets like scared, and that moment of being able to detect whether he's lying or not is kind of gone. You get like the remnants of like he is just kind of cleaning up and was gonna toss stuff later, but you aren't really able to fully tell if he's lying or telling the truth or not. He does just seem like he's trying to clean up though.
I give Døden a like.
Just none. We will be taking it then, and you can come with us when you're ready.
All right, and he like buttons the bottom of it down, resets the pack, and you guys see now that the halfling wizard with the big glasses and a big pack on his back is like, "Hi, ready to go."
Døden's definitely gonna do the like put a finger down because you said he's like a halfling, but like it's gonna be one of those just walking by, even though this is probably a full adult.
Oh, yeah,
relatively speaking.
He goes, yeah, sure, and then he reaches up and grabs your hand or your finger.
And
The father that stepped up.
Good to go.
Good for you.
Yeah, y'all said I need to study and practice, so might as well start here. The shop is closed for now. My wrath is coming. And he gets ready. Hulk grabs your hand and then walks with you.
I'll put down one of the handfuls of gold.
My wrath is coming. Grabs the finger.
What have we
Great.
done?
All right, Neil,
Really
show
good,
us the
guys.
parade route.
Neilnan, please. Neilnan Quarius. Holding your finger this whole time and is like, the parade route was this way. It was rerouted. I saw there were some people who were working this event who took the other people who were trying to cross through here and rerouted them this way so that they could avoid the original parade route because of these rock monsters.
Oh.
Well, that makes sense with the rock monster thing. Okay.
Yeah, so the parade is going on somewhere else, but this pathway is the way to avoid these guys entirely. So that's why everyone is down this route here.
I see.
Do we want to skip the parade route and do the cloak thing then?
I'm down for some cloaks.
Oh,
You look
You
over
need
at
to
Døden, who's
clone.
like fully shreds.
Oh.
yeah.
It's true.
He's
I do-
not trying to repair
Thanks.
his cloak. He was more so concerned on like his HP damages. He's
Uh,
fucking with the
Døden-
tether
So-
cloak.
Døden, I can help you out with that if you want.
Touch it together.
That's the other option if you guys would like. You can take a short rest if you'd like. And there are things you can do for a short rest where you can like hole up maybe at the booth while their things getting cleaned up and all that. And if you guys would like, you could take a short rest and do a short rest mechanic.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
I
would
have
do a
any
short rest more than anything.
Would
Does a short
benefit
rest
from a
clear
short
like
rest right now.
stress and HP?
You can tend to wounds, clear stress, repair armor, prepare, and gain a hope.
You do like
Give
one
yourself
thing.
hope.
Yeah.
You
that's
choose 2 moves from tend to wounds, clear stress, repair armor,
Right.
or prepare. About an hour. Yeah. You can choose the same move twice if you'd like. Let
It
me
is
see.
lunchtime.
You guys want some stew?
Oh my
Oh.
god, let's make our stew.
Lunchtime stew?
Who is Stu?
Is
there any
ingredients
Are we going to cook right here?
Neilnan goes, stew is my aunt, but I think this is a different kind of stew.
Hush, Nilden.
Oh, Neilnan, you're not getting any stew.
Oh my god, dude, shut up.
Is there anything nearby that I can cook?
Neilnan's like, I mean, we could probably ask John. John has a bunch of fruit, but he was cooking some things with it. He was making some smoothies, and he's got a couple things back there.
I would need a
Just
stove.
need. Do you need heat?
Yeah, just a flame. Whoa.
We need something to control it.
I fully blow my breath weapon.
Awesome. Do you do it before you get to John, or
like,
do you get
put
to
a
John
I'll do
first?
it right. I fly down. I was like, oh, I got you. Blow radiant gold fire.
Is there any like loose wood chunks with the destruction from the rock monsters?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. There's
I'm
like
gonna
table scrap, broken pieces.
Oh,
like
right.
in there, like make like a little pile, like do a little circle of the stone monster's remains around like a little rock enclosure.
Patch it.
All right, now we're ready for the flame weapon.
Kind of fills again, and it catches. Definitely, this is broken, dry, fresh wood. It's just kind of takes up in the center of this square here.
You're just setting up in the square.
So, I'm gonna start cooking with the ingredients that I have acquired throughout the day.
Yeah.
Pulling up my recipe here. So we have our beautiful fish, Alonzo. Might need some help butchering that one. Some ripe
Also, your
tomatoes.
flame is right here.
Oh, perfect. Here.
If you'll
So
gather.
we're gonna start with like stewing some oil with the tomatoes, and then after that we'll add the parsnips. They can simmer a little bit and cook, and then we'll add the fish in. Fresh squeeze of lemon juice after it's stewed for a while, and some little garnishes on top, some herbs. And then
this
it is
bubbling, good smelling stew reaches y'all's nose. Some other
So I-
vendors kind of peer around their own stalls with food and all that stuff, or different, fun and games. They peer around as they all like kind of smell the air.
Elret's kind of looking at this big book on her side to figure out exactly how to do the recipe. And as she kind of finishes it and starts to finalize it, the whole thing kind of starts to glow. The cast iron skillet does, kind of this sort of color. And I think I've just learned something.
I think you did. You look and this she seems to kind of like put the pieces together, something clicks in her head as she seems to master this recipe here in front of you guys. And a giant cast iron pot of stew is in front of you, simmering, bubbling with all these different, what would it taste like? Is this stew and do you want to explain what happens?
So the sharpness of the citrus and the tomato that cuts into the softness of the fish. It was my grandmother's recipe for what I can now read as something called Mina Shmuck, was the short term for Rain of Blades, which is a new spell that I've been working on for the past, I guess, A couple of
Couple
days.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she now has Rain of Blades.
Whoa.
Delicious.
So-
Really
I would have
cuts.
thought that the blades would taste so good.
Did you all take a
The
second?
best food you guys have ever had.
Here you go. You now sit and you eat and you take a short rest. What other things would you all? So like there's tend to wounds, there's clear stress, there's repair armor, and prepare.
What is
if-
prepare?
Here, I'll also copy this and throw it in here if y'all want to read any more about
You
it.
can also click on downtime on your character sheet, and
Yes.
it sits there.
Prepare is describe how you're preparing yourself for the path ahead and gain a hope. So like if you want to prepare a meal, like you could prepare in this as well, or I don't care. You could make something and then do two other things. But prepare, you describe how you prepare yourself for the path ahead and gain a hope. If you choose to prepare with one or more members of your party, everyone gains 2 hope.
Are we all preparing together?
So
Is
all
that-
of you can decide one of your actions is to prepare, and so you all gain 2 hope. That
Do we want to do that with the stew? I mean,
you guys want. If you want, I'm saying like your recipe. If you guys want to do 2 other things, you're welcome to. But that is a
Yeah.
pretty good prepare option.
I gotta do the HP and the armor.
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, you can eat the soup. You can smell the soup. So that
Yeah,
doesn't-
exactly. Who's an
I'm
idiot?
actually, not to brag, but my hope's full, my stress is empty. I didn't get hurt.
Oh.
I need
that
to
a
clear stress
challenge?
for sure, but I could probably get away with not tending to wounds, so I will prepare with somebody if they like.
Okay.
Okay, well,
400
anybody
sounds
that would
better.
like to prepare, I have some stew prepared for you.
All right, so we're Elret, you and I are preparing.
Yeah,
All right, cool.
prepared.
I'll prepare with you guys just to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
one.
Is it
Okay.
like, does your whole party have to do it to get the 2 hope?
Nope, just one or more members. So,
Oh, okay, cool.
So
Money.
Aurelius, Evandris,
I
Elret, and Morgan are all going to prepare together as they eat over this delicious stew, and all of you gain 2 hope.
Roll a 4 on my stress clear. Bang.
All right. Yeah,
Nice.
so you clear 4 stress. What else are you guys? So you prepared. What was your second move?
I'll clear a stress for me too.
Okay, so you roll a d4, and that's how many stress you clear.
I mean, as soon as this stew hits Evandris' mouth, it's just like,
Nice.
this is very nice. Elret, thank you.
It was a joy to share it with you guys. Feels good
Thank
to cook
you.
again.
All right, and then Taylor and Katie, what were you guys doing for your second one? You did prepare, and then
I'd like to clear 1 HP.
okay, so you roll a d4, and then that's how many HP you get back.
It's just
What
the
about you,
one.
Katie? Okay, there you go.
I don't really have to do anything. I can like practice my skills.
Cool. You can
in
just
the
hang out.
background. I'm just
And
chilling.
then Alex, you're doing the repair armor.
Yeah, I
and
cleared all of my armor slots, the 4 that I had used, and I got 1 HP back. Nice. So I have
Alright.
10 armor
Can
slots
I-
available.
Can I help tend wounds of somebody else and clear an HP for them instead of myself?
I've
Sure,
got an
I-
HP.
I actually think you can do that. It says
Yeah.
for tend to wounds, you may do this on an ally instead. So you can apply
Oh.
that to someone else.
Nice.
Okay, I'll tend to wounds.
Who do you tend to?
I will tend to Evandris.
Hmm.
Mm.
This takes
Do
me back. Thank you.
So you roll a d4,
So
and then that's how many Evandris gets back.
To an old friend.
You're welcome.
Loading.
I rolled a 3.
So you get
That's
3
more
more
than
back.
enough.
Nice.
All right. So, a quick short rest, taking a breath, sharing some stew. A new spell is learned, and people are repaired and refreshed. You sit there, and every once in a while, you hear Neilnin just like, "Ooh," and he's kind of like taking notes, little writing things down. You see
You're
John.
gonna give me some stew. If that's
You're gonna
okay.
give it. He's like,
That's the
"Really?" And he
Yeah.
takes the bowl.
I can tell you're trying, man. You just give it a try.
Thank you. And he starts going, and he's eating it super fast. Like, it's probably been a long day already, running the stall. Like, he's so into this soup, like his glasses are fogging up, and he's eating it. Say John even walks up, and he walks up with a basket of little fruit for you guys to chew on, as you guys are hanging out. And yeah, you guys have your little short rest.
Pull up my little cheese to have with the fruit.
Oh, we need
a
the cheese.
ratatouille moment.
Gotta have the cheese. As we're eating cheese, I tell John every single fight I've ever won and how in like really obnoxious like Chad detail.
All right. John's like, well, that's a crazy amount of fights.
This is what you need to be doing. Fist,
I mean,
not fruit.
But fruit just makes you feel so good.
Fist, not fruit.
So true, my guy.
Fruit is so amazing.
What if you were to combine fruit and fighting?
I threw a tomato at someone earlier today.
Exactly.
John, don't ever let somebody tell you how to follow your dreams. You chase that fruit dream, man. You fight with that fruit.
I will. Thank you very much. I will.
Good. Remember to build yourself diligently.
The fruit will be there. The fruit will help me build my way up there. You take your short rest. And where would you like to go after that? He takes his empty, I'm guessing, basket of fruit back, and Neilman kind of puts the pack back on. Where would you like to go?
A seamstress, probably.
But yes, you've talked about going towards the parade route. You've also talked about going towards that cloak shop.
I think we have two options, right? I think we can follow the thread of like the original 6, and if it's related to the parade at all, or we can double back and make sure we didn't miss something with Pepper noting that something was like there was, if I'm remembering right, something going on at the cloak.
She said there seemed to be like a little bit of a dispute between a couple people in front.
Yeah.
A hubbub, if you will.
So we have 2 reasons to go to the cloak store.
Yeah, I would go to the cloak.
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly look any better, but I will go to the
I don't need a cloak, but
You need like one of those like boxer robes that you come in with.
I think so. I think Evandris thinks he couldn't be more perfect. So
wow.
Fair.
Perhaps maybe he'll be surprised. Who knows?
All right.
To the cloak
You guys
store.
gather up. So you
the
can
gang goes shopping.
Yeah, shopping session. So you guys gather up your stuff. Do you leave the fire going? Or do you turn it
I'll
out?
druid water until it's fizzled.
Set it out. No problem. So you guys have your 2 directions. There's this one back down this way, sort of where you followed that individual that leads into the more busy sort of pathway that seems to be where everyone else is being pushed. Or there's this way that you guys originally came, which is kind of more through the woods. In that small path, semi sort of avoiding any sort of parade, anything, but it heads back towards the other side of the festival.
Which one's fastest to the cloak store in dispute?
Probably this one, since there isn't like a full crowd kind of slowly pushing through. Yeah. Which
Quick adventure.
Yeah.
Get it out.
This way. Through that little pathway in the woods, like you're going between parking lots at a Renaissance festival.
We're off to see the cloak store.
All right. You guys make your way. John is like, bye.
Got it, John.
There.
Fight, John, fight!
You see him like taking out one of his like carving knives and is like doing some motions with it. Like tossing an apple up in the air and doing a motion with it and then continuing going.
I turned to Elret. I'm proud of him.
Him too. I give you a little fist bump.
Fist bump back.
You guys head down that path back through the trees sort of that you originally came at the beginning of this session, I guess last episode. come out back sort of behind the like log games that you guys had played before, and you remember, if you go a specific direction straight kind of through. Actually, this would have been a little bit of a zigzag across. That's where you hit Pepper's essentially fuzz shop. But she said along one of the main like perpendicular pathways is the route that she took to kind of get back to her shop, passing the cloak shop and noticing that kind of skirmish going on right out front. So your path to get to the cloak shop is kind of on the way towards where the parade route was and where the path of people kind of have been led around, but it's not like directly right next to each other. You're still going to get kind of close to it, but it's not like you're wasting all this time traveling through a crowd to get there. So you guys make your way through all the various, stalls and stuff. You see people like collecting themselves after the sound of all this, fighting and things that happened on the other side of the woods. And you come up to what looks like this cloak shop, this sort of brick and mortar building that is in the central square area with other tents and things built around it, with an individual who's got like short brown hair, a single what looks like monocle, and like a buttoned shirt, talking to another individual who seems to have a bag in their hand, like a human individual with longer sort of grayish hair, still like a young build, and they're kind of like still kind of into it. But you also see at this point a guard standing next to them, one of the members of the grandfather tent that you kind of saw before, who've kind of been walking around making sure everything's okay in the area, and it's kind of in the middle of it, like please, like you could tell is kind of pausing things, talking to them. But you've come up to this shop now, seeing these two individuals in front.
They're still at it. We've had an entire fight.
Let's eavesdrop.
I think that's probably the logical thing to do.
I feel like I should interfere with the amateur, but I'll hear you out. We can eavesdrop.
Okay. Do you guys stealthily go about eavesdropping, or do you just kind of walk up? And...
I'm gonna like rifle through like the cloaks like closest to where they are, just be like really like looking, investigating like the texture of the fabric. Like
I fly up to and stand on the roof of the building. Yeah, just like in full piccolo stance. Just
I'm gonna hide in the clothes racks and listen.
Yeah,
right,
you
I'll
can
say
be
there's
hiding like under where my body is, where I'm like staring at the rack.
Like you can see my feet, but like that's it.
I'll say there's a bit of a small table with like, those like organizational boxes or those cubes or whatever that have just kind of like folded simple cloaks kind of in stacks in them, and that's what you're looking at on the table there. And then there's a little small rack of maybe on sale cloaks off to the side that you're behind and just peering. Døden or Morgen, are you guys doing anything?
Yeah, I'll go into
Evandris just plop.
I'll go behind like a curtain in a changing room with my head like eyes like above the
So you pass them and go inside, but like just around the corner to where the like trial area is, and you guys, if you look in, see Morgen.
Yeah. I'm hiding.
And then Døden, are you doing anything, or are you just hanging out?
Døden knows he can't be sneaky. Being 9 feet tall. Hold on, my mouse died. So I think he's just fully relying on Nilnan walking around and presumably being like a known vendor here to blend in.
Yeah, no problem. You stay buddy with Nilnan, and he's like, yeah, so I've been here before, and he kind of starts talking about like the cloak shop and how he got his garb from here at one point, and is a very good vendor. He does some custom stuff and everything, like kind of talking up the place. Doesn't realize that you guys are like sneaking away to go listen. But I guess let's do. I guess, a group roll, which is another type of roll that you guys can do. So this will be an instinct roll. Let me look up the specific group one, because there's some wax. There's the plus and minus thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, group action rolls is what they're called. So when multiple player characters are taking an action together, such as sneaking through the enemy camp or sneaking into a cloak shop to eavesdrop, you can nominate a leader for the action. So then each character describes how they collaborate with their PCs on the task, which you guys just did. So then the leader is going to make that action roll as usual, so that duality roll, and then everyone else makes a reaction roll using whatever traits the GM sees fit. So it'll still probably, all of you will make a instinct roll, but the difference is the action roll is the one with hope and fear. So whoever's leading will either get a hope or give me a fear, of which I'm still maxed out on. But they are the only one who would get that. Everyone else does a reaction roll, which the hope and fear doesn't really matter. We're just getting those values. And so for the successes, the leader gets a +1. For the failures, they get a -1. So then it's just essentially making your modifier that you get to add on to your modifier for that. So who would like to lead the stealthy approach of
I could
the cloak shop?
lead, and I also, if I mess up, I once per session can redo.
Nice.
Ooh.
Can I make an argument too, like as I fly up, like whispering to either Aurelia or Elret, like giving them advantage? Because as a Slyborn, finding a safe place to hide is
That's
something
true.
I have advantage on.
Yeah. So
Which
you would also be adding a D6.
I would also be adding a D6 for Lightfoot because I'm in the wild board.
so maybe I give the D6 to Aurelia. I don't know. What the
You guys
mechanic
can
is.
roll and
So
add it
yeah,
to whatever
if
I roll.
one of you with the D6 leads, then you'll just add your D6 to it, and then we'll
You're
do
probably
the other.
stealthier than I am by a lot.
I'm like, I feel like little.
Yeah, I have a +0 to finesse.
I'll say, so if like Taylor wants to, so yeah, you have different options. So like if Katie wants to lead it and you don't like it, you can use your reroll as your main leader roll. Or if you want to go with Taylor, you can do yours and add a D6 to your total, and then you'll still get the plus and minus from anyone who's helping with the stealthy sort of thing.
Okay.
So whichever you guys want to go with.
How you feeling, Katie?
You can do it if you want. Go for it.
All right.
Feeling
Right.
lucky.
So yeah, go ahead, Elret. And then you got your D6 advantage as well. And this is for an instinct roll.
I crit.
You could?
Hell
That's
yeah.
crazy. That's crazy.
Do we just win now?
And it was 2 11s.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
11,
Pretty
11.
high crit. So did you take a picture and put it in the crits?
One day I'll get there.
Well, this makes me
Session of
feel better. I
crit.
had to use 3 hope to re-roll my hope die.
Honestly,
This is the
no. I
one
need you to have
time.
that.
That's crazy. So all together as a group, as you just described it, perfectly goes off. You've all find you slip into your slots, and you are stealthily there. You hear Neil Nin just talking, whatever, and it's like, yeah. So and he turns to see if the rest of the group is listening, and it's like, what? Where did they go? And it like turns back to you, is confused as to where they all suddenly went. But yeah, you all go to your locations and are watching, and you look at this this moment between these 3 individuals here, and you see it's kind of reached a point. It is, they've been going on for a second, and the follower of the grandfather kind of takes over, and he's like, well, I feel like it is a bit resolved here. We know you, sir, and points to the individual who doesn't have the bag. You, sir, were really looking for this cloak, but our friend here did purchase it first. No matter what kind of things were said on it, you've waited the amount of hours that they would have held it with your name on it, Can't really help that the parade route had been changed, and so now there's a whole influx of people making your pathway slower. Can't really help that. I'm sorry, sir. So, this cloak is probably going to have to go to this individual here. I really don't know what to tell you. And the individual who is not holding the bag kind of like gets really inflamed, and he's like, "But I had it on hold for the right amount of time and was on my way here. I had the money in my hand." And the other guy is just kind of standing there like, I don't know what to tell you, my dude. I went in, I bought the cloak. I just happened to walk this way because it was rerouted. I liked the cloak. So what? It was put on the rack again because it was no longer under your name. And they kind of just keep going back and forth. And you sit there for a second, and it seems to just be a dispute of who has the right to buying this cloak. And you see that as you're there, they both kind of have some like scrapes on their arms and some on their knees and a little bit of tattered shirt. Like, it does look like at some point there was a bit of like brawl over this bag in the middle of the street here. But I'll say then, with a crit, you also, as you're looking around these scrapes and whatever, you look, there's a little bit of like little splashes of blood on the ground, and you look a little bit to the left and you notice a splatter of what looks like tomato juice.
Can I use my experience sniff test to determine how long the tomato juice has been there and see if I can smell the guy that's wearing it?
Sure. Do you like stealth? Do you break out of your stealthy position and just like it is like 1.5 to 2 feet away from this skirmish right now?
Yeah, I'm going to very casually
hold out from the clothing section.
Can I give an assist of like flapping my wings to like help waft it?
You see it happening, you kind of turn and wing waft. So is it just an experience?
Yeah, but I would like to do an instinct roll.
Okay, go ahead and do an instinct roll just to see how long it's been there.
Well, and yeah, if I can smell the continuing
rest of it.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Can I give a wafting bonus?
I'll say yeah. Katie, roll a d6, and then that's your advantage. Sure, you get the little like roll for waft.
Roll for waft. I got a perfect 6 for the waft.
Amazing. Okay.
Excellent wafter.
Like I feel the child in me is like, for a fart, that's crazy. Like that's diabolical.
That's diabolical.
Wait, that's 24. That's a 26 actually because of my experience.
Wow. All right.
Where is this fucker? Where's the twerk?
The 26. All right. You fold out from your clothes for a second, and you kind of like kneel down, maybe like you're like pretending to look at like some of the other cloaks near the bottom of the table, and you feel the wings and the air sort of wafting to help you as these people again are bickering off to the side, and you give a waft. And sure enough, for a second, there's a little bit of like dried blood and all that, but you pick that out of your senses because you can tell it's on different parts of their clothes and stuff. But you pick it out with a 26. There's definitely tomato. This is definitely fresh tomato, like one that would be in the bottom of a bag that would have been dented from a fight. And it's probably maybe like a few minutes old, like 10 minutes old or something, or maybe so with a long rest I would say that's about like 20 minutes or so maybe it's about like 25 to a half hour old.
The twerp was here.
And I'll say, wait, so you got a 20, what was it, 5?
6.
26. I'd say you notice a second drop off in the distance, and a third, and a fourth, and a little bit of a splatter after that.
I'm gonna follow that trail like a bloodhound.
Like a bloodhound, you take off.
And it goes on the ground.
I chase after as well.
Oh, we're all following Elret.
I'm gonna fall out, but before I do, I'm gonna fly down to the grandfather guy. Yeah, I'm gonna step down. I don't have my wings on. I'm gonna step down, fall, and just like activate my wings right to catch, and be like, spineless, no confidence.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna put my hand in his face and be like, fight for it. Whoever wins takes the bag. And then I'm gonna just leave before anyone.
The one guy's like, yeah, and starts like rolling up his sleeves, and like, as you leave this chaos, and you just palm the other guy out of the way. Like, wait! You keep going. You take off after Elret. Elret, you just keep going. Okay, keep going.
No, we're
There
going
seems
my
to
own
be.
help.
You guys follow after Døden. Are you doing anything specific?
I was gonna say, I mean, they're all doing this. He wasn't even with that group. He stayed with Neilman the whole time while they were at the stand. Yeah, I think he might just genuinely be shopping. He might just be curious what's actually there.
I'm gonna go like
That's true.
grab his.
I will say you would have probably like listened a little, long enough for you to find maybe like a cloak or something that you would like to replace if you need.
Maybe not replace, but maybe add to his billowing nature.
All right, you did get a couple handfuls from Neilman as a token of apology.
Yeah, I mean, if
any
they cost
gold ones?
1 or 2 or something, yeah.
I'll say here. We'll just do a flat duality roll. No hope or fear. If you all maybe would have liked to like pick up on something within the cloak shop, give me a duality roll. And if it's above a 12, at or above a 12, that piece is there.
That is a 12.
Okay. So what piece are you looking for that you would attach to you?
Maybe like a more proper hood scenario.
Okay. Just like the plain black.
Yeah, if they got one with the little point thing, that'd be sick.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the
like Assassin's Creed.
kind of vibe,
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I rolled a
Totally had that.
14. I feel like while I was like whipping through the racks, like to eavesdrop, I like found something low key.
Sure. What would you think to find?
Like a sheer gold, sparkly, like looks like sunshine dripping down. It's like not good for the cold, but it's good for like a little like chilly night,
shimmering.
you know?
Would you want a hood on it or no?
No.
All right. You have what looks like, the capes that just kind of tie around the neck there and just kind of are like a shawl almost in this shimmery sort of gold.
It's like dramatically long.
All right. There you go. Perfect.
Is it dramatically long or are you just dramatically short?
It's a normal size,
Yeah.
but on me it's dramatically long.
So,
No.
Evandris, did you want to try to find a gold one or heading out?
He's not at all. He feels perfect as he is.
Perfect. Awesome.
Get all
So
up
you
there.
head out.
But he does see Aurelia come out with like a gold cloak, and he's nice. This is good.
Isn't it cute?
Do a little twirl.
Correct.
And it
Stately
seems
and
to-
worthy of your station.
When you start to fly, it kind of like flutters above, so it's not in the way of your wings. And,
Oh yeah, I would
Døden,
imagine
you
that it would
your
have like little slits for your wings to come out of.
I'll say you roll a 14. Those can happen.
They
There you
make
go.
fairy cloaks for sure.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
And Døden, you have your simple yet Assassin's Creed looking sort of cloak as well, trying to cover up some of the other tattered pieces. And you head off down the road following a tomato scent.
Yes.
So
we hurry.
you scurry down the street here, following the nose of your chef friend, and you guys run off. And there's, like I said, the occasional splatter of like maybe a chunk of the tomato kind of falling off and hitting the ground and kind of leaving a bit of a trail. So even from that, you can tell if it fell and the momentum was going this way, it sprawled out this way. So it gives you a little more direction with the occasional other drips.
Wow, how big was that tomato? He's leaving such a trail.
My thought was,
Because
'cause it's like
I
fantasy
hooked
world.
it at this guy. It exploded into pieces.
Yeah, it's a fantasy world. I feel like the tomato is like pretty freaking big, you
It's
know.
big. Also, like it would have stuck for a while and slowly started to.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. He's running and it's like
Guy was
falling.
Yeah.
So you follow this trail for a bit, and it leads to what looks like an abandoned building. There, you see the drips kind of turn off into this what looks like broken somewhat doorway that's kind of leaning off one of the hinges onto the other side of the doorway, and kind of in front of it, almost like it's about to just kind of eat dust.
Does it have if I fly up to the roof? I'm not landing on it yet, but like is there a chimney or like a
Yeah, so it looks like there's a simple small chimney, but some of the shingles have broken off. There seems to be like a cracked wooden section of it that you can kind of see light peering into, but it's not a huge one. It just seems to be a decaying building with boarded up windows that just seemed to be abandoned. It looks like it could be another possible shop that was like Pepper's Fuzz shop, where it's brick and mortar, but just old and abandoned. Kind of similar to the older buildings nearby that don't have a lot of people going into them, but are still little shops. This one just happened to fully go under.
There's no we're in a kind of isolated area of town now. There's not a lot of
Yeah.
people walking around.
You've followed the drips kind of towards the edge of the festival, so they're like still trying to pull people from the pathways in to go get their wares of various different foods and stuff. You see one that's like essentially burritos or something, and one that is like these round like dough balls and different things, but then because they're not in the central fair, they don't have a ton of foot traffic, so they're pulling people in and it's not as populated. But this one building just seems vacant, but the tomato juice drips right to the door.
I could spend a hope to carry Elret or Morgan to the roof if they want to peer through that.
I could
hole.
flutter.
I'll do some
You
peering.
could flutter. That's right.
Yeah, you've got fly too.
I hold out my arms like this.
You like video game T-pose?
I lift Elret up and gently place her on the roof, and then stand on top of the chimney, arms folded.
This is quite high.
Full piccolo stance.
Yeah, you guys fly up. Do you peer into that little cracked hole area of the roof?
Yeah, we're peering.
Yep. You kind of take a couple steps closer, Elret, and it sounds a little like creaky as you get closer. These are old pieces of board and all that are underneath your feet. I'll say as you get closer, and you're not one that is flying, go ahead and give me a finesse roll to like control yourself and finesse. If you hear a creak, maybe you don't step there, sort of thing. So it could be a quick finesse.
18.
18. All right, that's pretty good.
Not
Was
so
it an
far.
18 with hope or fear?
Oh, with hope.
Okay, even better. So you start walking your way over. You hear like the little creak under your foot of one of them, and you stop for a sec, and you pull your foot back, and then replace and put it somewhere else. And that one seems more solid as you slowly kind of walk up. And you and Aurelia look over the edge. I'll say now both of you. I'll say one of you can give advantage, sort of thing, for a instinct roll.
I got good
You wanna do it?
instinct. Yeah.
Do it.
So
I'll give you-
you'll lead it, and then Taylor, you can roll the d6.
I got a 22 with hope.
Got a 3.
So a 25 with hope. All right. You guys peer in, and at first it's a little bit hard to see because you have the sunlight out here, and it is a dark interior that you guys are peering into, and you're trying to keep your balance and all that stuff. So you're thinking of a lot of things. And you peer in, and you look and you see a dusty interior There's a couple different like tables and chairs, like I said, from like the restaurant that probably once was. At the same time, on this first floor of dark interior, you see what looks like a somewhat of flicker of a small light off on the far side of the room and around one of the walls, almost towards what looks like the top of a staircase.
Is it in any kind of pattern?
No, just like a flickering, like you would guess there's maybe like a torch down there. Some sort of light source.
Could I reach into my nomadic pack and spend a hope?
Okay. What are you trying to pull out?
Just a common item that's useful for the situation.
Yeah, like are you thinking of an object?
No, I'm asking you what an object like that may be.
Is
Is that not how that works?
Okay. Does it say the DM decides?
It says work with it to figure out what the item is.
Okay. Like, are you reaching in with an intention of, I want to see, or like it's dark in there, I want it to be light? Like, do you have any idea? Or I can just say whatever. That will be helpful, but
I guess like something to like help see, like really like a telescope kind of vibe.
Okay. Like see down into the stairwell where the flickering lights is?
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. You reach into your pack, and with that intention, I'll say pretty easily, like you suggested, you pull out what looks like a small telescope.
I look through the telescope.
You look through and look towards that, and from your vantage point right now, it looks like an aerial sort of view of across the building on this first floor towards you're looking, and it is again just that it is not moving, but it is flickering around this corner that you cannot see. But I'll say even with like this telescope now, you can definitely see this is a top first stair, and you can see it go to a second one before it trails off out of your view where that flickering is.
Guys, there's a lot of stairs over there.
But that's the only sort of light that you see in this general vicinity of this dark, abandoned house.
There is a flicker. And I am so good with light and sunshine, and in my heart, I feel like we should follow the light. And I know that's what the fish says. That's what Mr. Aquarium told me. And that's how fish die. But
someone is hiding someone.
You know, that's also how fish might get any semblance of joy in their little lives. So I think we should go.
Like
somebody's hiding something.
Mm-hmm.
Can I? We're still down on the ground, right?
Yeah, the rest of you are still towards the door. You see them like looking around.
Can I like?
I'll like fly and like tell them, relay this info.
Okay, I was gonna go have maybe put my ear next to this door and see if I can hear anything.
Okay. Next to this door that's there on its single hinge, go ahead, I'll say give me an instinct roll as you're listening.
Oh boy. 12 with hope.
12 with hope. With a 12, I'll say you don't hear a lot. You hear, I'll say you hear that flickering of the torch across the room as you're like that same level now. It's not like super far across. And yeah, you can kind of hear that flickering off to the side and then nothing else.
Okay. Well, I can confirm there is light. I think we're safe to go in. It doesn't sound like there's anyone there. You know, I got a glimpse of what this twerp's papers were holding, and it looks like he was prepping for some ritual. And judging by his dismissive demeanor and apparent rudeness, I suspect no good.
I think you're so right.
Thank you for the validation.
We are always right.
Uh,
All right.
but yes, we should go in, I think.
Okay.
All right.
Done.
You creak open the door. Do you move stealthily or?
Can
Yes,
I telescope inside real quick before we go?
So I'll say if you're moving stealthily, do you all want to move stealthily or just Xander opening this door right now?
How big is the chimney?
I'll say as you stand on it, it's not that huge. It seems to be just for like a small furnace that like as you're standing on it, the top of it is kind of covered by like the V of your feet. If you stand on it, move it, like
Right.
you can move
So-
like 1 foot to the right or left.
So a broad-shouldered 6'6" Dracona is probably not going to slide down this chimney.
Probably not.
All right.
You know
At
who
least
could
not as
slide
Santa
down
Claus.
the chimney?
Yeah, yeah. The
Well,
thought crosses his mind. And he's
I've
like,
seen
"Okay."
Aurelia transform into 2 beasts today already, so perhaps.
Fatigued.
I'm saying Elret could fit.
I'll fly down. I'll join the.
Fly down. All right, if it's gonna be stealthy, are you all being stealthy? Because we can do another group roll.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I will
hover.
try to be stealthy.
I'd prefer
Right.
not, but fine.
So,
Can't you just hover?
Yes.
so
We're
all of
both
you,
on Team Hover.
who would lead their stealth roll for this? Because maybe we'll say Xander as you're opening the door.
Oh,
You'll be the
I have
front
a
of
plus
this.
0. Wait, it's finesse, right? Yeah, I have plus 0.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll your roll,
All right.
and then we'll get everyone else after, unless you crit.
Ooh, that's pretty good. As a 15 with hope.
Okay. So everyone else, go ahead. So Xander, you now take a hope as well for rolling with hope.
Yeah.
That is a 7 with hope.
Also
Okay,
a
so that's a
7 with hope.
failure.
Oh.
That's a
Five
failure.
hope.
That's a failure.
Oh.
16 with hope.
That's a success. So you only have a -2 or
Oh.
-3. Yep, -3.
Oh no.
I mean, fuck it, why not? Could I spend Emotion of the Ocean? I don't even know if it would change it, but I don't think I should know. Can I spend Emotion of the Ocean point to move stealthily in like a sneaky kid through a house
Like,
type thing? Of,
yeah, sure. So yours, what did you roll again?
7 with hope, so that makes it a
7?
9.
A 9.
Wouldn't
Is
it just be
Neil-
-2 because Taylor gives a +1 for succeeding?
All 3 of you failed though. Oh yeah, so it'd be a -2. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, -2.
We have to
but then
count our wins where we
with
get them.
I think
We-
even with a 9, that still failed.
Yeah,
though.
that's what I figured, but it made sense to use it,
Yeah,
especially because
that's fair.
Do we still have Neilman?
You
Oh,
do.
yes. Neilman rolling?
Oh,
I guess
no.
I'll roll for
Wait.
Neilman.
No.
Neilman,
Yeah.
guard the door.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. He like turns and he sits with his pack on his back and he just stares outside the door, watching around.
Neiman, this is your first test.
Okay. All right.
I'm not going to
Neiman,
tell
is
him
it
what the
fun,
test is
Neiman?
for.
Don't talk about Fight Club.
Yes.
Okay. We don't talk about Fight Club. Is this Fight Club?
It
Yes.
could be.
God. Damn it,
Wait,
Neil.
Slap him
Don't mention
across
it.
the-
Did I already break the first roll? And then he turns around. And you guys head in. You had a -2, so it was a what, 13?
I got a 15, so yeah.
-2. Okay, it comes out to a 13. All right. You guys walk your way through this first floor. It is dusty, and like I said, that chimney sort of comes down to be a small furnace off in the side, almost like to keep the patrons kind of warm if they were to come in and eat. You see a small sort of kitchen door off to the one side. But as you guys enter, you do spot the corner that you guys were initially interested in. There's stealth music. I'll switch to real quick.
Just the Pink Panther theme song.
Yeah. And you guys spot this torch on the side here. You guys are walking through this first floor and you come up to the top of the stairs and you peer around the side there, and you do in fact, I don't know why this we're gonna do this, sorry. You peer around the corner and you do in fact spot that torch that was flickering on the side there. And this torch seems to lead a little bit down further into these stairs to another spot where you see another flickering torch. Do you guys continue?
Yeah. Do we see more tomatoes?
Like, I grab Morgan.
Oh.
I gently pull him back and like push Elret towards like, show us the way. Don't lead that again.
No.
Those on the ground.
Yes, yeah, let someone else get the chance, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You go ahead, Elret. You take a look. I'll say, since you've been hot on this trail so far, you look, and I'll say at the top of the stairs, you notice a clump of tomato that has fallen off, and you see it was kind of stepped on by like the heel of a boot. And you go down these stairs, and you start to see that heel of a boot print on every couple stairs. So you continue down this pathway.
This guy was not careful.
He's not alone.
You slowly go down this dusty staircase, of which those flickering torches provide the only light in your immediate view. And as you keep descending, you kind of hear a sudden clatter. You hear the shaking of what seems to be a wooden chair. You hear murmuring and discussion, and suddenly you hear like a clatter of things in the ground as one person you hear starts to go, "Why? These are crumbles. These are what?" And he's like, "What? I ran into a bunch of problems. Hushed murmuring, etc. down this hall again, as you hear the squeaking of this chair, as he goes, "Go get him, put him back," and you hear a quick skirmish and walking over before it kind of gets pulled back into place. As you hear, as it sounds like someone's trying to say something and yell something, but something is bound and they can't. Do you guys continue down this curving staircase?
Loud yet?
Yeah.
Loud yet?
I keep tiptoeing.
You keep tiptoeing.
No, we're looking
And-
like the Scooby-Doo gang walking
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
No.
I'm hovering. I think Aurelia and I are both hovering above the ground.
Hovering.
Yeah,
as you
but
go.
I'm still doing the tiptoe maneuver in the air just to feel included.
I've got my
As
arms
soon as-
crossed and just like I'm standing and flying.
Being slow. You guys reach the end of this stairwell and get towards a short hallway into a singular, what looks like room, of which there is more torches, and this sound gets louder as you hear shuffling of multiple figures around this room. As you crest into this area, you see what looks like large lines sort of drawn on this ground here, right in front of the doorway. And as you peer into the space and look around, you look, and there seem to be 1, 2, 3, 4, you keep counting, a lot of individuals, all in the same sort of cloaks that you noticed of this individual that you talked to earlier. And you see a chair off to the side, with definitely someone bound to it, mouth sort of bound as well, as they're trying to break out of it. As you see them start to gather and circle themselves up, as this individual pulls out a set of papers and looks around nervously. It says, "These are it. These are what I have. We can do it now." As you all look, and in the very center of the group of them sits a large, scaled dragon egg. As they start to pass the papers around and begin chanting. And we'll stop there for now.
Whoa. Oh my god.
Guys, we gotta cause so much chaos.
No!
in this
There's a lot of
dungeon.
chaos.
We need to go absolutely ape shit in this dungeon today.
We will.
So
I
we'll
get to be
stop
loud
there
now.
for next
Oh
time.
my god.
Speaking is
guys.
beneath me.
Thank you guys. for playing again this session. Thank you for hanging in. There's a bunch of crazy shit that happened. You guys have sort of pieced together the various pieces. Maybe not how all of them connect, but all the various pieces that have kind of gone along.
I feel like we know less than when we started, but also more.
Because the time thing
If you
didn't
want-
come up at all, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm.
Well, I guess we didn't sleep, but
Are we
Yeah, you
gonna
guys haven't
wake
slept
up?
yet. I don't know.
I was debating on just like telling John like all about the time stuff, like just info dumping on this.
Y'all could. It's up to you guys, and we'll figure
Like,
that out next
Listen,
time.
John, you need to know this.
Neil and I definitely go yap about it.
I say we sleep
yeah.
first and then
Yeah,
yak
yeah.
to John.
Thank you again for tuning in for the second half of our second session. We'll see you, I guess, in the next one. Outro.
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 Roll it.